Hey guys, it's Jess from Peace Love Books, and first of all, I have a couple things to address. So I'm in my new library. If you haven't seen my moving vlog, I will link it down below. I did move in the baby room in the house that I moved into. It was like it's the smallest bedroom, and so the couple that lived here before us, it was their baby room. I painted it a like dusty rose color. I don't know if you can see the color that well, but it's my library, so I have 4 shelves behind me here and 2 in front of me, and then a book cart and then a reading chair. I will film a whole house tour / library tour once I have everything officially put away. We've been in here now 6 days. Today's the 7th day because today's Saturday that I'm filming. Also, sorry about the lighting. I'm still trying to figure things out. It is currently raining outside, but I'm still getting pretty good natural light. I don't know if I want to try out doing like a ring light or an umbrella light or something like that, just to see that I can make videos whenever I want to and not just during the daylight hours, especially during the winter when it's barely light out. So we'll see how that turns out, but I don't know if I'm sticking with this angle because like my chair is right there, and so that's why I had to put it here. I don't know what's gonna happen, but sorry if you hear rain, sorry if it gets a little bit dark, but I am here with my top 5 books I read this summer. I read almost 50 books this summer in 3 months, which is a ton for me because I am in like such a slump right now. I have been reading the same book for over a week and a half, and the audiobook I'm listening to I really don't like, and I have a bunch of books I have to read for review, so I'm not motivated to read because they're not books I'm like dying to read. They're just books that I have to read that I'm interested in but like might not be in the mood for, so it's okay. But I have 5 books that I read plus 2 honorable mentions that I'm obsessed with that I read this summer and that were my favorite. I'm not going to spend too long on these, but my 2 honorable mentions are One Small Thing by Erin Watt and The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hoang. I've heard it both ways. One Small Thing is Erin Watt's kind of YA, but I feel like it's a lot more mature YA. It's about a girl whose sister has passed away, and this new boy moves into the school, and something happens between them, and then she figures out that he actually had something to do with her sister's death, and so it is their relationship. Her parents are super protective because of losing a child, which is totally understandable, but I feel for her because she doesn't feel like it's fair, and she's kind of rebelling, and she just thinks about life and grief, and it's really, really good. For The Kiss Quotient, this is about a girl who actually has Asperger's, and she has always felt awkward in relationships, especially with the physical side, and so she decides to hire an escort to help teach her the physical ways of a relationship. She hires Michael. Michael comes and is surprised that it's this girl who is so unlike other older women who hire him to be their escort, and he's actually doing it for a reason, which is always the reason in escort kind of romances, and he helps teach her the physical ways of a relationship, and it's their romance. Super adorable. I really hope you cannot hear the rain right now, but sorry. The first book I have to share with you is actually book 2 in the series. Book 3 was supposed to come out like next week, but the author had some personal stuff going on, so she had to push the release date back because she just couldn't get to it in time. But that is Welcome to the Dark Side by Gianna Darling. This was even better than book 1, which I love. This is a motorcycle romance. Huge age gap, but I was totally okay with it. This is Lou's story, and Lou dealt with cancer in her childhood as a child, and this guy named Zeus helped save her in a shootout in the church parking lot she was at with her parents. Her parents ran and ducked for cover and didn't even care about her, and he actually saved her life, and so she's been writing him letters while he's in prison while she's battling cancer. This is when she was a kid. I think she was like 8 or 9 maybe, and now fast forward, I believe she's I think she's 18 or 17 in this book, and she's tired of being the good girl, and she is tired of her parents just ignoring her, and she becomes part of Zeus's life again, and Zeus is trying so hard not to like her because he has kids her age, but he had kids really young, so I think he's in his 30s. That makes sense if she's 18? I think so. He might be like 40 or late 30s. I don't remember. But this is so good. Just like Tilly Cole's Hades Heyman series, you really fall in love with every single person in the motorcycle club, especially the person that they put to protect her, because this other club is going after Zeus and everyone Zeus loves, including Lou, and so he does have someone there to protect her because there's a snitch in the club, and they don't know who it is, so they don't know who to trust, and there are this core group of people though that you do trust. We have the couple from the first book, which I love seeing, which is Zeus's son. The next book is Zeus's daughter and a cop, and I'm so here for that book because the cop has been a regular character, and I believe he was in book 1, he's definitely in book 2, and it's their romance, and I'm dying for book 3, but this, if you like a good motorcycle romance, especially the Hades Heyman series, you gotta read this book. So in case you didn't see, I am wearing my Black Dagger Brotherhood shirt because the next book I have to share, you already saw, is Lover Eternal by J.R. Ward. This is Rage's story, and now I made a whole video about my love for the Black Dagger Brotherhood series, even though I've only read book 2, up to book 2. I'll link down below, but this book, you get to know all the characters so much better in this book. I was so confused in book 1 about this world, about the hierarchy, about their powers, and so in this book, Rage is a vampire and he is cursed to become this like beast when he has heightened emotions, and he doesn't able to, it's kind of like the Hulk where he can't control this beast side and he can't recognize friends, and so he hates the side of him, and so ways to release that pent-up anger and stuff are through physical acts, and so he is definitely a playboy, and this girl who is human actually kind of falls into the life of the vampires, and they fall for each other, and it's so good. One of her friends is actually a vampire, and she's in the 3rd book with Zadis, who is my absolute favorite, and I'm so excited. So like I said, you get to fall in love with all of the vampires in this book, and sometimes you get humans that fall into the world. So like the 1st book, she was a human, but she was actually a vampire, didn't know it yet. And this one, she's only a human and she's getting used to that world, but it's so good. I was just flying through it, and there's so the whole point of it is that there are these vampire hunters who aren't really human anymore. They like trade their soul to be these vampire hunters, and they're going after them, and so he has to protect his human, and then also all the other vampires. The Brotherhood are like the protectors of the vampire race, I guess, and so it's really good, and I cannot wait to read the rest of the series. The next book that is one of my favorites this summer is In Bed with a Highlander by Maya Banks. This book has been on my TBR for so long, and I actually now own the rest of the series because I love this so much. It's about a girl who is the heir to someone's like money, and like, I don't know if it's I think it's just the money that she's the heir to, or heiress, and so she's been hiding out in this abbey with these nuns because people are trying to kidnap her and force her into marriage so that they can take all the money and the power that comes with that. And so she is hiding out in this abbey, and then these group of Highlanders come and kidnap her, and this little boy's also kidnapped along with her along the way, and this little boy's like, don't worry, my uncle's gonna come and save us. And so I think it's his uncle, and they end up being saved, and it is this brooding Highlander who is the leader of their clan. I always forget what that's called. I don't remember. But he instantly doesn't like her because she won't tell him who she is, because she knows that people are going to try to take advantage of her if she does, and so she swears never to tell him, and so he's infuriated with her, and she has such an independent mind of her own, and it happens that he ends up deciding to marry her to protect her so that people won't kidnap her, because he does figure out who she is. And that's the story, and I love her fierceness, her fierce attitude. She is not going to let this Highland leader tell her what to do or who to be, and it's fabulous, and I loved it. I loved her character. I loved their romance, and it was so good. He has 2 brothers, this leader, and they have their own books, and you got to see them a little bit in their romances that you know are going to start. So I am so excited to finish the series, and if you love historical romance and you love Highlanders, you have to read this. The next one really should have been no surprise, because I knew I was going to love it and I kept on putting it off. That is Moonshot by Alessandra Torre. I have had this book for like 2 years, and I finally picked it up, and it was so good. It's a baseball romance. So if I remember, her name's Ty, and her dad has been a pitcher on the Yankees, I believe, since, yeah. So she went to live with her dad when she was really young, and the first time she went to live with him, they went on the road to a game, and she's been traveling with him ever since. She is just the golden child of the Yankees. Everyone loves her. She's a ball girl, so I think she like helps warm people up in the outfield, if I believe. And she is, baseball's her life, her dad's her life, they have such a close bond. And then Chase, I forget his last name, this wild child playboy gets traded to the Yankees. To Ty, her dad said, you need to stay away from him, he's bad news, you're gonna fall for him, I know it, because he is the hot shot of the league right now, and Ty is obsessed with baseball, so she knows this. Of course, something happens where they start a romance, and then it's secret, but then something happens, and then there's a time jump, and then it's like, after this time jump, all these women are being killed every year that the Yankees lose their chance of going to the World Series or something like that. And so they have to figure out who's killing these women, and you have to figure out how she can be with Chase, and it's just like so much angst and drama, and it ended up being a murder mystery, and I couldn't put it down. I read it in one day, and it was freaking amazing. And the last book I have to share with you is Shatter Me by Tahereh Mafi. I'm supposed to be reading book 2 this month, and I will get to it, I promise. I have like a week left to get to it. But this book is about Juliet, who it starts out with her being in this prison, and it's like a mental institution, and she doesn't know, well, she does know why she's there because she killed someone, a little boy, with her touch, because her touch is lethal, and she's just sitting in there, and this new guy comes in as a prisoner. And so it starts from there, and it's a dystopian world, and people are trying to get Juliet as a weapon so that she can be used in the war that's going on to kill people, because she touches people and they die. And so this ended up being so different from what I expected. The ending was crazy. The romance is like off the charts, especially now that I've read the, not book 2, but book 1.5, which is a novella from Warner's perspective. After this book has happened, and Warner like is so creepy, and I think, okay, so someone told me he reminded them of Klaus from Vampire Diaries, and I totally get that. He's like creepy, in love with her, but like you're totally into it, and it's just like so weird. But now I am, and I cannot wait to read book 2, and this is just like amazing, and you all have to read it. And those are the top 5 books that I read this summer. Let me know down below what you read, or if you've read any of these. I would love to hear. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye.